President Trump says making Washington, D.C. a state is, quote, ridiculous. During a speech at the Kennedy Center today, President Trump said Democrats are pushing for D.C. statehood because it would be a solid blue state. If D.C. were to become a state, this would also add 2 Democrat seats to the Senate, as well as 1 congressional Democrat seat to the House. During his remarks, President Trump also spoke about his push to federalize the D.C. police force, saying 30 days with the police under his watch isn't enough time.
Because you can't have 30 days. 30 days that's by the time you do it. We're going to have this in good shape. And don't forget, in the border, everyone said it would take years and you'd have to go back to Congress. I never went to Congress for anything. I just said, close the border. And they closed the border. And that was the end of it. I didn't go back to Congress. We're going to do this very quickly.
So far, President Trump's crime crackdown in D.C. has led to over 100 arrests. And speaking of which, here's more on those arrests and other law enforcement actions being taken.
President Trump's cleanup efforts of Washington, D.C. seem to be working, and he may be looking to expand operations. Reports say more than 100 people were arrested since over 1,400 National Guardsmen and federal officers were deployed to the nation's capital. The arrestees were charged with a slew of crimes, including murder, drug, and illegal firearms crimes. Border Czar Tom Homan says these efforts uphold President Trump's mission to restore law and order in America.
Look, I know they've taken some bad people off the street, but in addition to that, I think it sends a strong message of consequences. I mean, deterrence. I mean, a lot of the criminals are staying off the street because they know there's an increased presence of law enforcement. They're going to take zero tolerance on criminal activity in D.C., as the president said. So I think it works both ways. Number one, taking bad guys off the street, actually arresting some folks. Second of all, the deterrence message is keeping people off the street from doing violent things, so they know there's an uptick in law enforcement.
And Homan suggests President Trump is not done yet in trying to clean up the image of the nation's capital.
The president's authority is never over. The president's going to do what he has to do to make this country safe again in every city in this nation. Anything else? That was easy. Thanks, folks.
And Trump stresses the need from all branches of government to help enforce America's laws. He said his order is temporary, adding he can extend the 30-day order if he sees fit. However, Trump says he wants Congress to pass a crime bill to codify his law and order policies. And he believes Republicans in Congress can get that done, like they have with other agenda items for his second term.
So we're going to need a crime bill that we're going to be putting in, and it's going to pertain initially to D.C. We're going to use it as a very positive example. And we're going to be asking for extensions on that, long-term extensions, because you can't have 30 days. 30 days that's by the time you do it. We're going to have this in good shape. And don't forget, in the border, everyone said it would take years and you'd have to go back to Congress. I never went to Congress for anything. I just said, close the border. And they closed the border. And that was the end of it. I didn't go back to Congress. We're going to do this very quickly, but we're going to want extensions. I don't want to call national emergency. If I have to, I will. But I think the Republicans in Congress will approve this pretty much unanimously.
Trump also downplayed opposition from Democrats in D.C. and across the country. Part of their resistance is renewing the push to make D.C. America's 51st state. But Trump says that's not a great idea, pointing out statehood would only benefit Democrats.
Let me do that one. Statehood is ridiculous. We want to straighten the place out. Statehood's ridiculous. It's unacceptable. It's the Democrats want it because the Democrats have, about 95% in this little area. Even I didn't get it very much. They want that. They want to pick up 2 senators, and it's not going to happen.
Trump maintains his efforts are not to exert power over Democrat-led states, but to make D.C. one of the most beautiful cities in America. And that means, according to Trump, ridding the streets of criminals, polishing infrastructure and roadways, and maintaining his magnificent image for the city.